can't believe a single bottle of Tide cleaned all our clothes.
Really? That's almost 61 large loads.
Hey, my bottle's the same size. Why doesn't it clean the same amount?
The Tide's more concentrated.
So a little bit goes a long way.
Wow, that is a lot more clothes for one bottle.
Maybe we shouldn't wait so long to do laundry next time.
Okay, well, most of this is yours.
Clean 3 times the laundry. It's got to be Tide.
Sometimes, to prevent the future, you must venture into the past. And additionally, sometimes to escape the past, you must move forward into the future. But then that's too far, so you go back to the past, but not as far back as before, and now you're in East Africa, jacked to the gills. But that doesn't mean you can run. Welcome to Trash or Trash, a bad movie podcast where we watch so you don't have to. We are your trash men. I'm James Willems.
I'm Patrick Brown. Patrick Nebula Brown.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And in this episode, we're answering the age-old question, what is the perfect being? And how does it look when it has to run towards a camera for 80 straight minutes? We're trashing on 1995's Nemesis 2, Nebula.
How does this keep happening to us? How do we keep having to watch bodybuilders run?
There's a certain formula. There's a certain formula that works.
Look, we sit down, we watch The Barbarians.
Yeah.
We know what we're getting into.
Yeah.
I sit down and watch Nemesis 2 Nebula. I don't think I'm going to be watching a female bodybuilder in Miss Olympia sprinting for 80 minutes.
But do you regret it?
No, I don't. Of course I don't regret it. Of course it's a miracle and a blessing every time it happens.
Yes.
Like a little treat from God.
Yes,
He's coming down to say, I love you. This is a little treat from me. Why does this keep happening? Every movie we watch has a bodybuilder. It doesn't matter. Nothing about this indicates bodybuilder. And yet,
we were in the golden age. And some
agree.
people didn't even know. Some people would say, oh, we were in the golden age. We didn't even know it. I knew it. I was aware.
Yep.
Look at me. Look at my brain chemistry. It's ruined because I knew it so much. Now, you know what our action stars look like now?
What's that?
Tom Holland.
Me? Yeah.
It's
You
BS.
can say it. You can say
It's
it.
BS. They just look like regular people.
I agree. I don't want to see me fighting on the big screen.
No.
Okay?
Yeah. But
I can
that's
be a
what we're
hacker
getting.
or something, I guess. I don't
Timothy
know.
Chalamet is our action star.
Which is bullshit.
It doesn't make any
I agree.
sense.
I'm with you.
So I would rather Timothy Chalamet, a classically trained actor, probably went to Juilliard, extremely skilled. He's been doing it for a decade. He's only like 20-something years old, and he's been doing it for 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
He can add so much texture to these roles that he's given. I don't care.
No.
Okay? Because he done got no muscles.
I don't need texture.
I don't need
I need a hard, smooth surface.
I want a 240-pound person who, when you turn the camera on, cannot function like a living being.
Because they're too big.
They're too
They're
big.
bigger than anyone ever intended for man to get.
You say, just say the line like you would say it in a bar anywhere else in the world.
And they freeze.
They can't.
They
They
freeze
can't. Eyes
up.
starting back and forth, muscles tense. Anyway.
God forbid you ask him to run.
God forbid. We'll get into that. We're going to talk about the running. There's a lot of running. All right. So, of course, we're talking about 1995's Nemesis 2, Nebula. You're probably saying, I don't remember you guys doing an episode on Nemesis 1. We didn't.
We skipped it.
We skipped it.
We skipped it.
If you listen to our last episode, Future Zone, this has kind of worked around because we were originally going to watch Nemesis 2, Nebula. We said, wouldn't it be funny if we just did a sequel?
Yeah.
And then we said, nah, maybe next time.
Yeah.
So we did Future Zone instead. Found out it's a sequel.
It is a sequel.
To Future Force.
Yeah.
So then we decided, hey, since this is the whole thing, why don't we just do this anyway?
We'll just jump in.
Just jump right in the deep end. This is written and directed by Albert Pyun. He is a legend of the B movie scene, Hawaiian filmmaker.
Yep.
He has done Cyborg, Captain America, and Mean Guns.
Captain America from 1990.
What's the difference?
Not to clarify.
What's the difference?
A big difference.
Oh,
Very
okay.
different.
Why I
movies.
just assume when you say Captain America, no one thinks
Oh.
Chris Evans.
No. I think most people probably
Really?
go that
You think
way.
so?
Yeah, I don't think many people are thinking Pune.
I think the Red Skull, where he's the Red Skull for 5 minutes in the beginning of the movie, and then for the rest of the movie, he's just an Eastern European guy.
Yeah.
But Mean Guns. Mean Guns.
Have you
I
seen
own
it?
this
I
on
haven't seen it.
DVD.
Did you?
This
Do
is
you?
a discovery I made after we finished this
Oh,
film.
cool.
Mean Guns, starring Christopher Lambert and Ice-T, where a bunch
mean,
of criminals
That's a great cast.
they're brought into, I think, it's an abandoned prison or something like that.
Mhm.
And there's just a pile of guns, and it's last man standing wins.
Oh, great.
It's great. They get like $1 million or something. He's worked with basically everyone all the biggest stars in the industry.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shout out a list here.
Yeah, of course.
Thomas Jane,
Yep.
Chris Christopherson,
Mhm.
Lance Henriksen,
Mhm.
Charlie Sheen, Burt Reynolds,
Okay.
Mario Van Peebles. Okay, he's worked with them all.
You didn't mention what's the guy's name? He was in Reservoir Dogs.
Michael Madsen.
Oh no, not Michael Madsen. He looks like Michael Madsen, but he's like a meth addict who might be dead now. Tom, God damn it, what was he
All right,
in?
go look it up. Anyway, I'll
on
keep
my,
going. He was a filmmaker since the time he was young. He was making 8mm and 16mm. He actually was picked for an internship by Toshiro Mifune,
Yeah, I saw that.
which is crazy.
It's insane.
And he worked on some TV with him,
Mhm.
and he also worked alongside Kurosawa's director of photography.
Yeah.
I think he thought, according to
He thought he was
Wikipedia,
gonna
he
work
thought
with
he was going to
Kurosawa,
work with Kurosawa, but still, Toshiro Mifune is like one of the greatest
coolest
actors
dudes
of
ever,
the
yeah.
20th century,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Tom
Um,
Sizemore.
Right, Tom
Also,
Sizemore.
a lot of videos of him having sex in a motel room that he posted to Facebook, I believe.
Don't doubt it.
He might be
I don't
dead now.
doubt
I
it.
think he's dead.
His first film, his feature film debut was The Sword and the Sorcerer, which actually did really well.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's
but-
like a classic sword and sorcery movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it did really well, and it starred Richard Lynch, who you may know from The Barbarians.
Of course.
He was the sorcerer in that too, the
remember.
king. We
I
never
don't
really figured out what
remember.
his role was. This film stars
No
pretty
one
much
you know.
nobody, but
Kind
Sue Price, Tina Cote, and Jahad J.J. Zuri
Okay.
as Zumi. If I had to guess, he's the one rebel guy who you see more than once.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
But Sue Price plays Alex. She is a professional bodybuilder.
Mhm.
She's got huge in the 90s.
It's like a 3-time Miss Olympia.
Well, she plays fourth in Miss Olympia
Oh,
in
I thought she won.
1995.
Okay.
I don't know that she ever
Oh.
finished, but that's huge.
Yeah.
That's the top of the mountain, and she was up there.
Yes.
She's made 7 movies, and 5 of them are Nemesis films.
I saw that.
I can tell.
I saw that.
Then I don't really have any information about anyone else.
No.
Tina Cote looks familiar, but I couldn't place her.
I mean, there was a few other. We'll get into it. But there are a few other people with Wikipedias from this movie, but they're all
Other
this person was
bodybuilders.
in 3
Oh,
movies
yeah, yeah.
in the 90s. Or there's 2 other female bodybuilders who I don't know. You had a guess as to who they might be,
Yeah.
but it's like cameos at
throwaway.
best.
But
yeah.
the titular nemesis.
Yes.
This is an interesting one. The titular
Crazy.
nemesis, which is just it's an uglier version of a predator. It's looks like it's made out of recycled tires.
Yeah.
It's basically someone who's just quietly walking around. They don't know where they're going, and they
Mhm.
have to be pointed in a direction. Chad Stahelski,
Yeah.
who was the stunt coordinator for The Matrix.
Yeah. And I think Keanu Reeves is stunt double.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he's gone on to be the director of all the John Wick films.
Yeah.
That's Nemesis.
I know. That's great.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser powers through tough messes.
So it makes it look like I spent hours cleaning.
And no, I didn't.
It makes my running shoe look like new. It's amazing.
Wow. It makes it look like I don't have kids at all.
It's so good. Makes it look like I have magical powers.
With 80% less scrubbing, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser makes cleaning easy. Also available in sheets. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser powers through tough messes.
So it makes it look like I spent hours cleaning.
And no, I didn't.
It makes my running shoe look like new. It's amazing.
Wow. It makes it look like I don't have kids at all.
It's so good, makes it look like I have magical powers.
With 80% less scrubbing, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser makes cleaning easy. Also available in sheets. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser powers through tough messes.
So it makes it look like I spent hours cleaning.
And you know I didn't.
It makes my running shoe look like new. It's amazing.
Wow. It makes it look like I don't have kids at all.
It's so good, makes it look like I have magical powers.
With 80% less scrubbing, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser makes cleaning easy. Also available in sheets.
So if you choose to watch this movie, just remember that 30 years after it was made, the guy in that rubber suit would make all the John Wick movies.
Yes. True genius reflected on screen even back then.
There you go.
I'm going to give credit to the director for picking that one out.
Good eye.
I just Googled Tina Cote. I don't know if it's the same one, but I guess she's on Instagram.
Okay.
She got some followers there.
Sure.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, not a lot else going on here. And it makes sense because this movie, without getting too much into it just yet, is a real bait and switch. Like it's a 90s bait and switch.
Yeah. So this still probably happens to some extent, but for sure in the 90s, if you would go to rent a movie and you would pick an awesome movie based on the box art. So cool, you're so excited, you can't wait to get home and watch it with your friends. You put it in, it starts great. Maybe there's a battle, a futuristic city, big sets.
Yeah.
5 minutes in, boom, they get you.
Yeah.
And they go back in time to whatever the present day was, the 1990 whatever.
It's like they know exactly how long it is before you're allowed to return it to the rental store.
Yeah.
And be like, sorry, we don't accept that. You've already watched 5 minutes. So that's what this movie is. The Nemesis franchise, again, we don't know anything about.
Because this is the only one we've seen.
We've only seen this one.
I do have some interesting trivia about Nemesis 3, which we can get to later. But yeah.
Okay, well, hold on to that one. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
Don't do that thing where we tease something
And then
later
never do it?
then never do it.
Yeah.
That's not intentional, but
Okay.
it definitely happens.
You want me to, I'll just say it now. Nemesis 3 made entirely with leftover footage from this movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I saw another thing.
It's like, what's the Amnesiac, the Radiohead album?
Oh,
It's just songs they didn't
B-sides
use
and
on
stuff?
Kid A.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I also it says here that at some point they took all 4 at the time Nemesis films
Mm-hmm.
and managed to cut it down into one movie that lasted 100 minutes.
Wait, who did that?
Scanbox.
I can't believe they got 100 minutes.
Then
out
the
of them.
company went bankrupt.
Yeah, of course.
But they managed to cut down all the movie. Could you imagine?
That doesn't
You've made
surprise me.
4 full feature films, and then someone was
Mhm.
like, "I could get this down
This is-
to a short,
This is-
to a short single movie."
This is barely over an hour and a half long of material here.
But either way, somewhere I guess that version does exist somewhere.
I
out
want to
in
see
Europe.
that.
I
If
think
anyone's
it
got
would
a
be bad.
Google Drive link, let me know.
Let us know. I'd love to see Nemesis, the true cut.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the backstory of this film. I think it's time we just jump right into the
Get
breakdown.
into it because there's not a lot of backstory
No,
actually.
no
Yeah.
late title card here.
Really nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna rise to the top.
All right, boom.
Back.
This movie kicks it off. All these movies kick it off
Yes.
with a bang.
Again, this is we're still in the bait and switch.
Mhm.
Credits.
Yeah. Some backstory about Alex Rain or something.
Yeah, Alex. Well, that's the thing. We didn't actually have to because you and I were worried. We said, "Wait, we're going into the first movie. We're going to be in over our heads. We got no idea what's going on. We're going to be confused.
Mhm.
We're going to be saying, James, what happened with the first movie? I don't remember. I'm lost. Please tell me." And you're going to be stroking my hair, and you have to tell me the plot of the movie, and I freak out.
Yeah,
you say something too scary. And you're like, shh, calm me down.
It's okay.
This is how we watch movies for this show. Doesn't matter because there's a card right at the beginning. Alex Rain failed in her mission to stop Cyborg America.
His or hers? Was it his?
I think it's a her because I think that's who is the mom.
Oh, I thought that
Who
was
comes
just the
back in
mom.
time.
I thought this was just the DNA mom.
You might be right, actually. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
I don't know. Either
you
way,
can't blame
Alex
us. Come
Rain
on.
didn't do a good job in the future.
Yeah.
So sending the DNA baby. What is it?
So
I mean, we're getting ahead of
we
ourselves.
established the setting, which is 2077 AD
Yes.
Los Angeles,
Because
Cyborg America.
in 2027
Yeah.
AD,
Yeah.
Los Angeles,
Coming up on it.
Skynet turned on,
Mm-hmm.
and they nuked humanity or something, and cyborgs
took over.
or robots.
Cyborgs. Cyborgs are bad.
Okay,
That's why-
cyborgs took over.
Because cyborgs were like, instead of United States, we're going to call it Cyborg America.
Cyborg America. That is part of the title. Like it said when it says
Yeah.
the location, it's Cyborg America.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Because I always like when the map thing where it's like country,
Mhm,
state, city.
mhm.
It's like a globe. Cyborg America. You're like, cyborg. Let's see. There's the United
yeah.
Kingdom, and there's
Uh-huh.
Mexico. Oh, there's Cyborg
There's Cyborg
America.
America right there.
Yeah. So it shows where it's getting flash image,
Mhm.
war, battles,
Like,
cool
pretty
shit.
impressive. It's all like imagery directly from Terminator, but still like pretty cool, well done.
Recreated.
There's like an eyeball going into.
Yeah.
Where did that go?
That's the Cyborg
That was
America.
so cool, and
Yeah.
it never came back. I thought they were building the main character.
There's like a prosthetic with like half its face blown away and a cyborg skull underneath. And
Yeah.
then there was like, remember there's like an arm that was like,
yeah.
shooting and stuff like that.
and like fucked up, like destroyed cyborgs.
Yeah. And it's just flashing these images
Yeah.
along with like the credits and stuff like that. And then finally it opens on a cityscape. Says 2077 Los
Mhm.
Angeles, Cyborg America. And it's this badass city. And I'm like, this looks, I
like
say to you, I was like,
miniatures.
this looks pretty good.
yeah.
And then something flies in. And then I don't even remember. Then it goes from that to text. Right?
Yeah. So
Oh, no. It shows the woman. We get the backstory.
Yeah.
A woman gave birth to a DNA baby.
it's a DNA baby. Which do you remember why?
I don't. All I remember is the cyborgs are trying to make human beings not reproduce. They don't want more humans.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the
Yeah.
fact that an actual birth took place was real bad for the cyborgs.
Yeah.
So this woman secretly in a lab somewhere managed to give birth to an actual human DNA baby, as they call it.
Yes.
And so they say the scientists then go, and this is where the bait and switch happens.
Mhm.
The scientists go, we need to send her back in time. It's a reverse Terminator.
Got to.
It's a reverse Terminator. So we're going to send the mother and the baby back in time.
I don't even think the scientists say that. I think the text is just like she knew where a ship was.
Oh, yeah.
And she just walks to like this Lemmerkand configuration, this Hellraiser
Mhm.
cube
Oh, yeah.
that she gets in and goes, and it's very casually like the cyborgs can time travel. So she time traveled.
Yeah, she
with
is.
their ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see that cityscape again. You see like a little brick go like, meow.
Mhm.
And we go, uh-oh, text, 1980 East Africa. It's just a desert somewhere.
Yep, they
and,
go back.
I made a note here. I said, we got tricked. It takes
We
place
did.
in East Africa in 1980.
They tricked our asses again.
And so she climbs out of the cube and she's got her baby and she's sprinting. And I'm thinking, this woman's in pretty good shape.
Yeah,
This is a fit
in great
lady.
shape, yeah.
She's in great shape.
Looking good?
I didn't know what I was talking
No,
about.
you had no idea. You didn't even know what a woman in good shape looks like
I
yet.
had no idea. And so she goes running and is immediately pursued by like a weird, it's strange. All in the span of a few moments, we're exposed to everything Africa appears to have to offer in East Africa. A British safari guy.
Yep.
And then an Arabian rebel.
Yeah.
And then a Central African tribesman.
Yes.
So
They got it all.
She's
They got it
running
all.
from a guy with
And
a gun.
Beautiful Arizona landscape.
Oh, just lovely. Just lovely. Is that where it was, Arizona?
I don't know, but it doesn't,
Probably
I'm
was.
pretty sure, yeah, somewhere like that.
But anyway, so she's on the run. They're chasing her for no reason. We don't even know why she's chasing
She
her.
barely even knows she's being chased.
Yeah.
I don't understand what is happening because she flips out and starts like running, but these people, I don't think she sees them before she like dies.
I don't know. There's a lot of running and you're like, are you running from something or running to something? I don't know
Yeah.
why you're running. And there's maybe 6 lines of dialogue in the whole film.
Oh yeah.
So it's hard to tell. But either way, she's like, oh, I'll never make it. So I'm going to hide my baby in the brush a la Moses.
Yep.
And then I'm going to cause a distraction so that way I guess my baby can die in the African sun.
That's what I don't fucking understand. Is these people are chasing her with like assault rifles. I guess
Yeah.
she thinks they're terrorists or something. I don't know. They haven't fired on her as far as I remember. So she takes her baby out, just sets it in a bush in like the high desert sun.
Crying.
And like what? Okay, so if she died, and she says goodbye.
Yeah.
She's like, here's this necklace that's going to tell you what's going on, which I don't remember if that came up.
I think it comes up again.
Here's whatever. I'm leaving you here. So if she dies, what? She's entrusting the baby to these two who killed her.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Well, she also doesn't
just keep running.
She doesn't draw the fire anywhere. She sets the baby down
and like
again,
stays there.
Stands up where she is with a desert eagle and starts shooting.
Just fires and then gets shot. I think she takes out the white guy, the safari guy, right?
And then the safari guy,
the like Arabian rebel, guy kills her,
shoots her,
and then some tribesmen show up,
and kill him with a spear.
No, he doesn't die because isn't that the guy who's around for the whole movie?
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he is the spear. I thought it was the.
I don't remember. I can't remember. But either way,
and the tribesmen take the baby.
Thank God. Yeah, and they're like, we will take this baby, but we don't know anything about this baby. And in only a few short moments in this film, we'll explain to you that we don't know anything about this baby.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh man, this is BS. But then it goes, boom, Back to the Future. And I was like, oh, it was just a flashback.
Yeah.
We weren't tricked.
We thought we were like, yes,
it is actually a movie in 2077.
Thank God. We see that awesome miniature set again.
It's awesome for one shot.
Yep.
And then it says, and then we go back.
Yep.
But not as far.
One of the craziest bait insert. So instead of just saying like 20 years later, it takes us back to 2077 for one text card and one miniature shot.
Yeah.
And then straight back to
East
like
Africa.
1990, whatever. Like the baby's grown up.
I think it
now,
would have
but
been,
It's still not the future.
Yeah, it's weird because she's.
Oh, it says present day. So.
Present day.
Well, I guess that means currently.
But she's
right?
25, right? I think she's 25.
She's 20 because they say it took 20 years to track you down.
Oh, right.
So she's 20, which she doesn't look a day over.
Sometimes
40.
the tanning,
I don't
all
know.
the tanning, it ages the skin. So year 2000, East Africa.
Is it the year 2000? Is that?
Well, 19. They go. They start in 27. It says they go to 1980 East Africa. That was text. And then it goes forward again back to, I think, 2077.
But then when it comes back, it says present day.
And then it comes back present day. And she's 20.
It's 2024.
So if she was a baby.
So she's 60?
Not our present day.
But it says present day.
And not the present day of the film. It's a different present day.
So it's been 15 years because the movie was made in 95?
A different present day.
God damn it. God damn it.
Present day that's
puzzling.
It's a present day
logic
that's
to
either
this
in
movie.
the future or the past.
Okay, I'm with you.
And then finally, we get a title card. 12 minutes. 12 minutes in. That's a tenth of the way into the whole movie, just for anyone who's keeping track. And then now we get to see grown-up Alex. Mm-hmm. She's grown up under the tutelage of this tribe.
So named because I guess they needed the protagonist to have the same name in all the movies, but this is not the protagonist from the first movie, who I think is a guy or something. But I believe what happened is the mom, everyone's wearing like Timberlands.
Doc Martens.
In this movie. But I think there was like a little piece of metal or something that said Alex on it, and that's how they found her name. But
but it would have been on the mom. It
doesn't matter.
Either way,
what's
most important is that I just want everyone here to make note of the fact that the DNA baby, the messiah of this story, is a jacked lesbian with dreads.
Yes, dreadlock. White
jacked lesbian
lesbian dreadlocks.
Do I need to say any more?
I think that's it. I think we can do physique critique and get out of here.
No, but so we meet her. She wakes up. She, despite growing up in East Africa, doesn't tend to speak their language very well.
Yeah, she heavily accented with an American accent, I would say,
But when she speaks English, she speaks it very well. They even call it out.
Which is strange because have you ever seen videos of like, sometimes you'll see a video of like, I've seen videos of like white people who were raised in Korea.
Oh, yeah.
And to hear them speak.
Well,
of course, there's no difference, right?
You're saying
wherever you come from, that is the accent.
Genetics don't determine your accent.
Not at all. It's wherever you were raised and who you were raised around, and the.
Okay, that's.
But
fair.
in this case, it seems that's not true, and
Well,
actually, it's just genetic. how you
Technically,
speak.
she's from 2077's Cyborg America.
That's true. So maybe
So that maybe
genetics
there's
changed.
something
Yeah.
that maybe influenced
Yeah,
her there.
interesting.
I think the bigger question is how in East Africa she managed to find a surgeon to give her such great breast implants.
Really? You didn't think
Which
those were real?
I don't think so.
weird.
I don't think
Could've
so.
fooled
I
me.
mean, I may be wrong.
Could have fooled
but
me.
basically, from the outset, all she does is run. She's
Which-
jacked. Looks fucking
Crazy.
great.
Yeah.
She looks great.
She's huge.
And all she does is run,
the whole movie.
and nothing on her body moves.
It's
Everything
shocking.
is stiff.
Yeah.
Right? Because she is stiff. She's clearly not a runner.
Yeah.
She's stiff. Her muscles are tight
Mhm.
and strong. She doesn't have an ounce of body fat on
Nope.
her. And she has these breast implants in that also don't move because they're
Yeah.
attached to her chest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's perfect. I mean, she's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
really
yeah.
know what else to say.
I do. We keep getting these movies where bodybuilders have to move. I mean, quickly.
That's
is
it.
Maybe
No,
a little
just say
in quote.
move. They have to
Yeah,
move.
they have to move at all. They have to do anything other than lift weights or pose on stage,
Yeah.
which they can't do. They're not equipped for.
No.
But watching them, I mean, her no worse than the Barbarians or anyone, but it's just like this lumbering. It's like a barrel where like the legs kind of move below the knees,
Yeah.
but not above,
Yeah.
and the arms are sort of like it's like watching a 1930s automaton
Yeah.
or something. It's just a barrel with mechanical things attached to it.
If I had to guess,
Yeah.
as someone who lifts weights,
Mm-hmm. Professionally.
Professionally, I believe it probably has something to do with the fact with training with weightlifting is a lot of form.
Mm-hmm.
It's not stiff isn't the right word, but it's about lines of motion and staying within those lines of motion.
Yeah.
Strong form when you're lifting.
Oh, right.
and,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Bracing and stuff
So you can
like
hurt
that.
yourself.
Because you can hurt yourself if you just let yourself go willy-nilly, right? And not that running is willy-nilly, but I would
Yeah.
say running well, which you know better than I do, is like a half step between, right? Like it's
Yeah.
controlled movements.
You want to be
Right.
loose, but like you're like Tom Cruise. That's too much.
Yeah.
He's got like, it's probably technically good form, but
He's
tight.
also sprinting
if
too.
you could
yeah.
loosen that up a little, though,
Yeah.
you let the shoulders go. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go easy.
So she doesn't do that. She's
No,
locked in.
She's locked in.
She looked like
hard.
she's doing a bodybuilding machine for
Yeah.
running.
Yeah.
And she looks great doing it.
It's
Either
how
way,
you were meant to look, right? It's how man was meant to look.
I
running.
agree.
Yeah.
Either way, all of this to say, we're just prefacing. You're like, man, they're so focused on the running. This is what most of the rest of the movie is. So we want to make sure
the
you
whole
can picture
movie's
it.
running. Yeah,
But she's doing a test for her tribe
to like join the tribe.
to see if she's formally going to be
Yeah.
a member, accepted into the tribe. And the chief is, I guess he was there when she was a baby, and he knows
he likes her.
He
He's-
likes her.
yeah,
She understands
yeah.
that she's special.
Mhm.
But then there's this other guy who doesn't like her,
Like fucking hates her.
and he'll cry like a baby.
He does. Yeah, he's ready to murder her.
Yeah.
and she's done nothing other than like get dropped off
Yeah.
outside the village.
No, she
that's
just
all she's
existed.
done.
And for 20 years, he didn't speak up until now.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
But he does not like her.
Doesn't like her. She completes the competition, which is to slaughter a boar, chase down and
Yeah,
slaughter
they,
a
like, release
boar,
yeah.
before a certain time, and she does that, and then the guy's like, no, that's not enough. So he challenges her to hand-to-hand combat.
She beats the shit out of him.
She beats the hell out of him, and
Yep.
then not only that,
He's so angry. That guy's the best actor in the movie
he is
because
I
he is
believed.
angry as hell.
I thought he just hated that woman.
he might have. Yeah.
But she does defeat him, and she tops him.
She tops him.
This is a reoccurring thing in the film, where when she tends to battle men, at least in this, there's only I think 2 or 3 other women in this whole film. But
Yeah.
when she battles men, she defeats them, and then sometimes you see it like around a corner or whatever, like Jurassic Park hides the violence.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
like that, or you see the remains, and it's always the man, legs
Legs up
straight in the air.
Yep.
Pants-
She's got him by the ankles.
pants off.
Yeah.
And
she's like an
the way she-
elliptical.
the way she's doing it,
Yeah.
you would think
Mm-hmm.
she's penetrating him,
Yeah.
but it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
So
but she's very much in control.
yeah, so he's upset, but that's what's transpiring. And then the chief goes, winner, chicken dinner.
You get, have your spoils.
Yeah, and so she's welcomed into the tribe.
That's right.
And the chief says, this is the perfect time to tell you about your backstory. And he takes her to the spaceship because they've still got it.
No, she has to beg. The chief won't let anyone know, and she has to beg to be told, right?
He agrees. He says,
after
fine.
he says, fine, if you first you must top me.
Yeah.
And then so she tops the chief.
Does top him. And it's funny because there's a shot where you see her and she doesn't even want to be topping him.
Yeah.
But you see his toes and he's like,
he's
toes.
like blowing them. Tickle them with this feather. He's got a whole rack of toys.
It's weird.
You think for like an East African like tribe is not.
They wouldn't have that much, but they had
it.
The spoils.
He had it.
But yeah, so they go to the spaceship. He's like, this is what we believe you came from.
Yeah.
We're still not sure what the deal is. You always spoke really, really good English when the traders came or whatever. And so
that's their excuse, is that she learned English from American missionaries or something, which makes no fucking sense.
Well, it's also funny too, because he's like, even with the spaceship, we just thought you were just a big fucking American.
Yeah.
That's basically what he says. I thought it was a plane that crashed here. I don't know.
American is not, it's not, it doesn't, if you're born here, you don't just have an accent. If you move and are raised somewhere else, from the moment your brain starts processing language.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
No, it's not how it works.
The American DNA is not that strong.
It should be.
Yet.
But it's not.
We're working on it.
There.
Yeah.
But either way, she finds a sword. Or no, like a machete.
Yeah, it's like a 2-foot-long combat
But it's
knife.
Special. Why is it special, Patrick?
It's got a laser sight on it.
It has a laser sight on it.
Like you would find on maybe a weapon that shoots projectiles.
Mm-hmm.
This, though, is a knife.
You're probably thinking that sounds really stupid.
Yeah.
You'd be right.
It is.
But it does factor in.
Yes, it does.
Shockingly. And then as they're returning back to their people and their tribe.
The whole village is burned down.
The whole village is gone.
It's gone.
And the way they react to it is pretty... like this is her whole life is gone.
Is that her lover that runs by them crying? And
I think
the
so.
The village is gone. She doesn't acknowledge her. She doesn't
No.
say hi. She doesn't say what's wrong. Nothing. Lady
Because
just
she
runs
takes
off.
what she wants.
That's right.
She's a strong, powerful woman
right.
with dreadlocks.
That's right.
And they see something off in the distance, something warbly or whatever.
Yeah. It's just like a dark figure in the distance.
It looks like it's weird because this movie, when did Predator come out? 85? 84?
Something like that, yeah.
Around there. So this is about 10 years after
yeah.
Predator.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do the Predator effect, but
just
they
enough that
ain't got it.
It doesn't look like it at all. I mean, I asked you in the middle of the movie, I was like, why does it look like this? What purpose does it serve? Because it's not invisible.
Yeah, it doesn't cloak anything.
It doesn't have any cloaking
There
capabilities.
It's actually easier to see.
It's right there. It just it looks a little weird though. It looks kind of strange.
Yeah.
It's like if the Predators thing was glitching so bad that you could just see it all the time.
All the time.
It doesn't. I'm not sure what the purpose of that was.
But we do get to see from the Nemesis's vision, and I
Which
think
is all over. It changes constantly.
The Nemesis is a creature, an alien, a cyborg, I guess.
It's sent back in time.
Sent back in time to find the DNA baby and destroy it.
Yeah.
And now it's found her. It shows DNA baby.
Yep.
And then it says something like on the screen, because every single time you see its HUD, similar how to the Terminator has all that information, this has one line of text that describes what is transpiring. And it said something like, there is the target, destroy its allies.
Yeah.
And then it sends this massive blast that just blows up 2 other tribesmen who are just like, what is that?
Yeah.
Now, they could have just targeted her.
Yep.
Because the goal was to destroy her, but they did not.
Is it? I could never quite figure out. Did they want her dead?
I think they just wanted to destroy her, right?
I don't know. But yeah, why not just shoot her? Why are you using your surprise attack, your one surprise attack, to kill 2 randos?
I don't know. But either way, that kicks off the run with Alex's life turned upside down, an inciting incident. She turns and she starts to run, and we're going to hear about what that run looks like right after this break. So huge explosion. She takes off running. She looks great doing it.
Yep.
And I'm trying to remember the order of events that transpires here.
I know
she's running at some point. Oh, she's running with her chief friend.
Yeah.
He stays behind like Billy in Predator.
Yeah.
And he's like, I will face him, run. Yeah. And so she goes through like a little thing, and Nemesis catches up to him, grabs him, defeats him immediately, grabs him,
drains him,
and then drains him.
Yeah. Like completely drains him of all his fluids, turns him into like a mummy man or something, and then like sprays all the fluids on her.
She comes out and she's like, oh no, and she sees this and then gets splattered with some of the fluids.
Yeah.
But then he proceeds to use those fluids to track her. So I didn't know if there was more to it than that, or...
I don't really think so.
Well,
I don't think they thought about it that much.
But if things couldn't get any worse, this is also the time when the guy who she topped earlier decides to pop out.
He's trying to get revenge. Yeah.
So what does she do?
Top himself, maybe.
Yeah. What does she do?
She tops him.
She tops him again.
And in the process of topping him,
he passes out. He passes out from the topping. He collapses. She sucks him dry in many ways.
Yep.
And then he passes out, and then she changes her waist shawl or whatever. She's got like I don't know how to describe it. Like
it's just a bunch of like thread.
Yeah.
I mean, I joked that it was like a butt plug tail, but that is kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's just like a bunch of threads or something. So she covers that in the blood that got on her and
swaps it with
his.
Takes his, which seemed unnecessary.
You don't need it. It's not useful. Yeah. And so then when he leaves, he's dropping blood everywhere, right? To be tracked by the Nemesis.
Yeah.
Who catches him almost instantly.
Yeah, and kills him. Maybe topping him. It
Probably
doesn't.
The Nemesis. So what the Nemesis does is the Nemesis takes him.
Oh, I remember.
Legs up over his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And has him that way.
And he goes, no, don't make it look like you're fucking me.
Yeah.
I remember that's what he says.
Yeah,
no. Don't make it look like you're fucking me.
No. That's so embarrassing.
Pulls
what if someone's watching?
Pulls the thing over his ankles.
Yep.
And then drains him dry, and that's where they find him. They find his mummified corpse with the legs up in the air. And his terrified look on his face. And she uses this opportunity to dive into some water and run away.
Which we've learned is the best, most foolproof way to get away from anyone tracking you.
Yeah.
Get in some water, go a couple feet downriver, you're good to go. You're golden.
So she just managed to avoid a run-in with a futuristic cyborg bounty hunter. And you're going, wow, she must have a lot of skills.
Oh, yeah.
You would be wrong, because then she's almost immediately captured by a guy who has one of those two heavy balls with a string that ties them together.
Is that like a bola?
Yeah, like
right?
Someone out of nowhere.
It's like a Bible weapon.
Yeah, gets her, and she's out. She's
knocked out instantly. He steals her stuff.
Yeah.
What does he take? The knife, I think.
I think he takes the knife. He also may or may not be the guy from the very beginning of the movie. It's unclear.
Really, yeah.
But he's dressed the same way because I guess there's a civil war taking place in East Africa.
But I think we only see the one side.
Yeah, we only see one side, and they're rebels that consist of, like people in turbans and their face masked and everything like that, and then other white dudes with sunglasses.
It's so confusing.
And then
first
one
I was like, are they
bodybuilder.
like supposed to be like, are they like CIA who are like,
I don't know,
attempting to topple some government because they suggested free healthcare? It's the 90s or 80s or whatever.
It's possible.
We were doing that kind of thing there.
That's what they did. That's what we did.
But that's never made clear.
No.
So,
but either way, there's never more than like, I want to say 4 enemy soldiers on screen at the same time, because they basically die and then and then the director hands them a new hat, and then they come running out with a new hat.
Yes.
Several times we see the same actor get killed in scene over scene. But she gets dragged in as a hostage, and now we meet 2 other hostages, because all this rebel militia group does is just capture white women.
Yep.
And hold them ransom, I guess. And there's 2 of them. One of them, I don't know either of their names.
Yeah, one of them is Cote or whatever.
Tina or something. And I don't know either of their names. One of them is Tina, who...
Oh, their movie names? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the character names.
Yeah.
But one of them has a plane.
Yeah.
They apparently came here together.
Smuggling.
But they didn't say that right away. We find out that they, I think, were smuggling.
With her dad.
They came with their dad or her dad.
Very important. 3 of them.
Three of them came
for
together.
later. Very important.
Also important to remember, the other woman who does not have the plane does not speak.
Ever.
For the whole movie.
Nope.
She has no lines.
Nope.
She's
Silent.
acknowledged
Yeah.
sometimes to look at her, wink, stuff like that. She doesn't have any lines in the whole movie.
Nope.
Kept waiting for something to happen, some sort of reveal. Doesn't happen. And so they are being held hostage. And then, of course, Alex gets brought in and she comes up with a pretty wild plan to escape.
Doesn't she steals the guy's gun?
She just grabs the gun from him and shoots him.
Pops him.
Shoots both of the guys.
Yep.
And thus begins a trend of guys getting shot, but it's unclear what guns do in this world.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people, like more than once it happens where someone gets shot like point blank or whatever, and then they get up and they're like groggy.
Yeah, like it was a trank or something.
Like, oh man, I just got shot in the chest. Woo! I mean, maybe because she tops him.
That's probably that, because
tops him.
She pops and tops is what she calls it. She shoots him and then tops him. Pop and top.
But either way, she immediately gets free from this hostage situation.
It's so easy for her.
She
to
takes
get
off.
away.
One of the guys wakes up and he goes, yawns. And he goes, oh, my bulletproof vest is ruined. It's not a bulletproof
It's
vest.
not. It's like a tactical vest
just
that
a
you could get on
jacket.
Amazon or
Yeah.
like an army surplus store.
Or something you'd wear to go fishing.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a fishing vest.
And so, but then everyone just all runs off in different directions.
Which this is really, I would say, the start of the rest of the movie is just running around pretty much. I mean, a lot of movies we watch get into this territory where the last like 30, 45, sometimes an hour is one location and just running around.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Nope.
No one likes it. There's still some good moments. But
Yeah.
we're really locked into like one location from here on out.
It's a way of explaining why, as we go through all the beats of this plot, it's going to sound like, wow, they spent a lot of time talking about the opening and not a lot of time talking about the end.
Yeah.
It's because it's just keyboard score and running.
And not even even the keyboard score, as you mentioned, is like 2 keys.
Sustained notes.
Just,
yeah. And then the next note. Yeah. Yep. Sometimes when there's a lot of action, you might hear some toms.
Yeah.
And then that's it. But yeah, so they basically go, we do find out because the 2 of them talk to each other and the third one exists, that, oh yeah, she came with her dad and then their fuel pump busted on their plane. She keeps saying a plane.
Yes.
And the big quotes around that.
Yeah.
But they busted a fuel pump. They had to go find a fuel pump, and then along the way they got kidnapped or whatever, and they were going to get ransom. And the dad is dead. But when she says like our dad, she looks at the other woman and she goes like a don't say anything kind of line. And the other woman doesn't say anything
ever.
Yeah. Then they start getting shot at.
Yep.
And then they all split up again.
Just go their separate ways.
They just go off again. I think there's a certain point. Oh, there's a mining facility. And I guess they're going to try and break into the mining facility because the plane is somewhere around there. And so the plan was for Alex to run off to the left.
Yeah. And I do think, though, the mining facility is obviously the same place that they are right now in the movie. Right? Like, I mean, there's that exterior where they're like outside some weird castle thing.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure once they're in the mining facility, it's just
that's it.
That same warehouse. Oh, maybe that is a different location because there's all that like rubble and stuff. So that might be slightly different. But
yeah, yes.
I do think eventually they go back to like where the climax of the movie is, which is also the second act and the third act.
It's impossible to tell.
It is. And it's pointless. I don't know why
I do want to make note of there was a point where when we're finding out about the airplane and stuff like that, Alex does change her clothes. Spends about 20 minutes.
Right, yeah.
But it's like almost medically filmed. It's like non-sexual at all. She like takes off her top from the back and you can see her put on other clothes. And she says it so that way they can blend in with the rebels. but she turns it into like a tank top where you can
It's like
see
a
her
sports
under
bra,
boob.
basically,
Yeah,
yeah.
and everything like that.
Also, she walks outside and immediately a rebel fires a rocket at
Yeah,
her.
yeah, it doesn't work at all.
Doesn't fool them for a second.
But it for sure was tastefully done.
Yes.
And so then they split up, and then it just becomes a shootout. And this is
For
the one,
so
there's a
long.
shootout in like
Yeah.
a quarry, and they're
Yeah.
shooting, and she's shooting them. And then also the two other women, they get recaptured.
The one makes a deal. The one
Yeah.
who speaks makes a deal with
We
the other
find out
one.
that, this the dad thing. I don't know. I guess that's true, but it's what she actually was doing was smuggling gold.
Yeah.
And so if this particular rebel takes her, she'll split the gold with him.
And they can have the other girl.
And they can have the other girl.
And the guy is basically just like, yeah, kill her.
Yeah. And so she
Why?
dies without ever
Why?
saying a word.
Why not ransom? And yeah, they shoot her and she dies.
That's it. And it basically becomes a stunt show from this point on.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Waterworld a bunch, the stunt show. Never
yeah,
seen the
not
film.
movie, yeah.
But it becomes a stunt show. At one point, she does do like a remember that thing where she like jumps
the flip
and she like half flips. She's like clearly hanging upside down from a wire.
And she like shoots or whatever.
And she shoots the
Yeah.
gun, and you
Yeah.
kind of see like it does like a bullet thing.
There's like
POV.
the camera, yeah.
And that's it. I wrote a note here. Nemesis 2 stunt show as they have a shootout that ends in a firefall. Oh, right.
Yeah, so that's the best stunt in the movie probably.
Yeah.
Is
a tall like
she's at the
mining
end of
building
like
or whatever.
yeah, so it's like a mining building conveyor belt type of thing. There's like a whole bunch of grenades going off and
Nemesis
stuff.
shows up as well.
They're at the end of like a kind of like say a grain silo or something like that. Nemesis is on the exterior. There's like an exterior walkway, and Alex is on the inside. For some reason that I cannot figure out, because Nemesis could have just gone inside. I don't know why they both jump off at the same time.
Yeah,
next to each other.
He does like a running gun where he like comes in and then he like throws a grenade in through the window,
Is that
even though
what
he
it is?
just discovered what grenades are. Because then remember they're standing in a long hallway.
I see.
She sees Nemesis coming, and she one at a time throws like
Yes.
4 grenades
Yeah,
at him,
yeah.
and he doesn't know what they are, so they explode. But then she's got another guy. She's wrestling with another guy, and then he comes in and throws a different grenade. But then he goes jumping out, and then it's Nemesis who's on fire.
Yep.
Her
who's
and
grabbing the other guy.
and then
right?
another guy are
Yeah.
all falling at the same time, and Nemesis tries to shoot her, shoots the guy, and then they both
Yeah.
come crashing down.
She's using the guy. So I thought she's using the guy to break her fall.
No.
But she's actually the other way. Her back is to the ground.
His legs straight up
His
in the
legs
air.
straight up.
And she's
She's
topping him
topping.
as they fall.
She's topping. What's interesting is she's topping from
the bottom.
beneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom. So hey.
That's why she's the DNA chosen one.
Exactly. That's why she's DNA baby or whatever. That guy dies, obviously. And then they both fall. Nemesis is at 15% health. Oh no, 15 minutes to recharge. He needs.
Yeah. He's in
Yeah.
bad damage, but he's
Yeah.
able to repair himself. She doesn't know this. I guess she just sees the fiery mess because she could just finish him off.
Yes, easily.
And then then she jogs. Now she's like, I gotta get that woman who's got that plane. So she jogs after her, and then there's a strange
arm wrestling.
Yeah, she just comes across. She takes off all her weapons. She sees 2 guys arm wrestling. One is a American bodybuilder dude or whatever.
Yeah.
And the other
She,
is looks like maybe he's a rebel or something.
Yeah.
And they're arm wrestling, and she walks up, and
But
you're like,
the white guy is like huge.
yeah, he's massive.
He's another bodybuilder guy.
And
who for some reason has gone to join these rebels.
But you think what's going to happen is she's going to arm wrestle.
Yes. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
And they're going to be like, wow, you're tough.
Holy shit, you're so strong. Yeah.
No,
Nope.
she walks up, and then she goes, can you tell me where this, or have you seen the pilot or whatever? And then the bodybuilder, he talks in the quiet.
Oh, it's like a soft whisper.
And I don't know what he said, but it was apparently threatening. And his mouth, we said it looked like Munchie.
Yeah.
Because his mouth only opens a little bit.
It's incomprehensible.
Yeah.
Whatever he's saying, you can't understand anyway, but it's so high pitched and like, it's like a Peanuts adult.
But what apparently he is saying is, no, I'm going to assault you.
Yes. Yeah,
And so he
proceeds
basically
to
just
try.
grabs her
Yeah,
and
yeah.
takes her, and the other guy's like, "Oh, rats! I wanted to assault her."
Yeah, he's so bummed.
Yeah.
He's like moping.
And so he takes her to the other, and he says something high pitched to her, and then she
Mhm.
kicks him in the nuts.
Yep.
And then grabs his hand and twists it.
Yeah.
And then I think she rips his pants off.
Yes.
Right?
And
Takes his ankles, and he's like, "No!" He's
Yeah.
like, because he's the strong guy, so he
he's
fights
big.
it. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
one at a time, she cracks
Wrenches
one
him
on-
up.
One,
You hear the
other one.
bones cracking.
Yeah.
Ligaments
No.
tearing.
And then she leans over top of him. And then I remember because he's like, "Oh no, please!" And then she goes, "You know how this looks, right?" And he's like, "No,
it looks so weird.
And she gets between him.
Yeah.
And then she tops
And the other
him.
guy is still mopey because he
Yeah.
wishes he was getting
He's
topped.
like, "All right."
Yeah. He's like, that's actually exactly what I'm into.
Yeah. And so, but then at some point he goes, "He's up there, up there, up there."
Yeah.
And then she finishes
Mhm.
and then moves up
He
the hill.
doesn't.
He doesn't. No,
No,
of
he
course
doesn't
not.
finish.
No.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. I think at some
Yeah.
point.
I
The
mean,
knife thing, right? We
Yeah,
finally get the
yeah.
laser knife payoff.
Yeah, so the knife turns orange and she comes back. The like terrorist guy or
The
whoever
main
he
guy,
is,
I think Zumi.
yeah,
I think that's Zumi.
who maybe has been in the movie from the beginning, maybe hasn't.
Yeah.
Is like trying to have sex with this woman.
Yeah, he's like
but
trying
he's
to.
like on his back.
He's
sort
like,
of
"Come on, who are you trying to get this plane? Who cares?"
Top me, top me, top me.
Yeah, he wants to be
Please top
topped.
me. Yeah, his legs
He's
are
the
up in
one
the air.
guy that wants to be
Yeah.
topped. But unfortunately, it won't happen because
No.
Alex shows up and then
Pops him.
they see a laser on his chest and he's like, "What's that
Like,
mean?"
What the heck?
And it turns out that you can
The
point
knife was like
you can
guided.
shoot to it or
Yeah.
whatever. It's a missile
It's
knife.
weird. It's just use a gun.
I don't think she
Why
uses
is it a knife?
as a knife at all. She doesn't like do any.
She like puts it in a rock once. When she first gets
yeah.
it, she like throws it at a rock.
Yeah.
But it's not, I don't think, clear that like the laser was guiding it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, the knife like shoots into his chest. He's
Mhm.
dead.
The pilot woman, she runs away and I think she gets captured by Nemesis, who then crucifies her.
Like ties her up. Yeah.
He crucifies her, and this is all just, by the way, in just weird facilities.
All abandoned buildings in Arizona, which I checked.
English, it is
It's Arizona.
There you go,
It's
nailed
Arizona.
it. And so then he's like, "Put down your weapons, or I'll kill your friend."
Which they've already established. These weapons have very little effect on Nemesis.
Also, not her friend.
No, she just met this.
Doesn't
woman.
know this person at all. This is a point where I went, "Where's she running to?" Because she's like, "I got to get this plane." I'm like, "To what end?"
You seem to
What
have
does
never
that
left
resolve?
this village.
Anything? Yeah, this is
Yeah.
your whole life. Where are you running
I don't
to?
know.
But
She never seemed too sad about her entire family
didn't
and the
know those
life she's
people.
known ever
She
getting
doesn't know
burned to
those
the
people.
ground.
She doesn't give
Okay.
a shit. But either way, things are reaching a exciting climax.
Yes, they are. Wow.
Because she gets face to face with Nemesis for the first time, and then he goes, "Put down your weapon." So she throws down her gun. I think she had, and she takes off a belt or something that may have had things on it. She also notices that there's some explosive barrels right below them. She doesn't do anything with that yet. And then so he says, "Stand still so I can scan you to see if you're the one I'm after." And I'm like, "Now you're checking?"
You didn't know? How did you not know?
That first scan you did from a mile away in the
Yeah.
field said she was the DNA baby, but apparently not. And so she does maybe the smoothest action I've seen, where she takes out her knife and she holds it up.
Yeah.
And then,
Turns it on.
similar to Monty Python, where the prince fires the arrow out the window and
just
the
like,
guard is just
yeah.
watching or whatever.
Yep.
She takes the knife and then stabs it into him about that speed.
Yeah. It's very slow. Not a lot of tension.
Nope. And then she does a shooting star press. She does like a reverse backflip
like a
or whatever.
crazy flip
and
kinda
throws
twist.
something down that causes the grenades to go
Yeah.
off to blow up everything beneath him. It keeps saying that he's taking damage. When you see his visor or whatever, it says like, "Oh, you only got so much," and then he's like, "Oh, you're gonna self-destruct in a certain amount of time because you took too much damage."
Yeah.
So he goes haywire.
Goes nuts.
and he's blowing everything up.
Yeah, he doesn't
he's just
care
shooting
anymore.
everything.
Which thank God they're in this abandoned facility.
Yeah,
'Cause
thank
otherwise
goodness.
The casualties, my God.
It'd be terrible if they had filmed it. If this had happened anywhere other than East Africa.
You mean Globe, Arizona?
And then so the pilot finally gets to the plane.
Which
Not a plane.
not a plane.
It's like a single engine ultralight.
I don't know what the hell. Yeah,
With
it's
2
almost like
seats.
a bike. 2 seats, not 3.
Not
2
3.
seats. It's like a bike with wings, basically, and like a small boat engine.
Yeah.
Or some. It's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's I don't like. Where did you? She must have flown from 2 miles over to fly this gold in.
All she does.
not-
The only thing she does is
cross the ocean on this thing.
she flees from Nemesis, and then occasionally she'll like fly into the 50-yard line at a football game.
Yeah, exactly. Like a high school football.
Yeah. And
She
there's
also has a bag of gold sitting on the like. You just left that there.
Yeah. And Alex, who by the way has no need for money because
Probably doesn't
she's
know what
lived
gold
in a
is.
time, she goes,
Yeah.
"What's this?" And then pilot pulls out a
She
gun.
freaks out.
You're not taking my gold.
She freaks out. She has
Ditches
no
her.
reason. Yeah.
And so she takes off and she ditches her. But just as Nemesis shows up, so Nemesis is blowing shit up.
Yeah.
She finally flies away, and then now we basically have Alex running and shooting in slow motion, walking through
Yeah.
smoke in slow motion.
So you have pilot lady who does not leave and just go elsewhere.
Yep.
She insists apparently on just flying in circles
Mhm.
around this abandoned mine while Alex and Nemesis kind of trade shots at each other.
Yeah. And
yeah.
but
And Nemesis is dying this whole time. We see that on the screen that he's dying.
doesn't have a lot of
He
time
could go any
left.
minute.
And then we even get to the point where now that so much is blown up
Mm-hmm.
and Nemesis stands at the end of one long road and then Alex at the end of another.
Yeah.
And instead,
it's like a Sergio Leone movie.
Exactly. That's probably what inspired those films.
Maybe it could be.
And instead of turning and running away because this Nemesis is going to be self-destructive or whatever
Any
in 2
second,
seconds
yeah.
anyway, what does she do? We're going to find out after one more break.
I don't remember. What did she do?
She runs at him.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
She runs at him.
Yeah.
She just comes charging and she looks great. Like a gazelle.
Yeah. She's
covered
saying,
in
get
muscle.
those legs up over your head.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming.
Her steps are so tiny
They are.
too.
It's great. It's like a child running. It's like a baby running.
For either of our single strides, she takes about 7 steps.
It's unbelievable. Which is something I've noticed with a lot of bodybuilders in a lot of these movies we watched is they do run very similar to the way my 9-month-old walks.
Yeah.
Which is very short, quick, panicked steps, almost as if you're worried you're going to fall over if you go any faster.
If you think about the weight distribution
So-
of like a toddler
Uh-huh.
to a bodybuilder, it's
Probably
pretty similar. It's
pretty
mostly
close.
top,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of just
Yeah,
keeping
you
up
got to
with
be
it.
careful.
But yeah, so she finally decides to confront Nemesis head on.
Mhm.
They have like a battle. I don't even remember much of what. At some point,
Probably stabs
at
him a
some
couple
point,
times.
he does blow. He pops.
Oh yeah, he's got like a kind of like a
He's got
cock on his hip.
He's
right?
got a little something that they show for the first time, and
Yeah.
it pops white stuff everywhere,
all over the place,
And
like a
she
lot
says,
of goo.
She says, "Not yet," and
Not
she
yet, you
plugs it, and then takes his
motherfucker.
legs,
Cranks
crunches
him
him
up.
up, reaches
Sits
into
down on
his
side.
cybernetic bowels,
pulls
pulls out whatever
grabs
she
the
needs.
prostate.
She starts stimulating his cyborg prostate. He's going,
No! He says, "Now, motherfucker," and then he sprays again.
I think she like thrusts her hips, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he explodes.
Ah!
Explodes like Power Rangers.
Yep.
And she's defeated the Nemesis, but she doesn't have any way out. Not that it matters because this is her home, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so-
everyone she's ever known is dead. But
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
And then
Where is she trying to go? She's got nowhere. She doesn't know anyone. She's got
I
nowhere
don't
to
know
go.
where she's trying to
She
go.
doesn't know anyone. Everyone she's ever known is dead.
But the plane is still circling because for some reason she
Yeah.
doesn't fly away.
It doesn't play. Oh, so at some point during the fight or whatever, we see that the plane is like leaking oil. or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
or like
or
gas.
gas or
There's a
something.
gas leak.
Yep.
But the plane does not go anywhere. It just continues to fly circles for some reason.
Yeah.
And then crashes.
Yeah, like
into a hill.
like
and
a cartoon,
explodes.
she's laughing because
Yeah.
she thinks she got away with it, and then you hear prep, prep, prep,
Which
prep, prep.
got away with what? Alex didn't want your money.
She doesn't care. She doesn't know.
She doesn't know what money is.
She thought you were friends.
What is your problem?
But
just leave.
It's pretty great because she's like, oh no, and then you just see the plane go down over the horizon, and then boom,
huge explosion,
which is a pretty huge explosion for something with no gasoline in it.
Right.
It should just crumble amongst the ground.
Yeah.
And then I don't even remember. At some point, she collapsed. Does she just collapse from all of that? Right. Alex collapses.
Something like that. Yeah. And then because it ends with her like in a Jeep.
Yeah. Well, she's unconscious.
I think she collapsed. Yes, I think she does collapse from the strain of having to walk, not from the fight.
No.
From just walking around.
Well, her pelvis is tired as well.
And from topping so much.
And then out of nowhere, a military Jeep, or a Jeep, I assume military, shows up.
I mean, it's military guys in the Jeep, I think, yeah.
And then they just, without saying a word, pick her up, put her in the back of the Jeep, do a donut.
Yep. They do a couple donuts. Yeah, they do have a little fun with it.
And then go down an empty road. And I remember thinking, like, is this the end of the movie, or is there going to be another thing?
I said credits, and
you did say credits.
I was wrong though, because it first cuts to a different angle of the Jeep.
Yeah.
Which is a little crazy.
Yeah.
And then credits.
Yeah. Then it's a locked off shot of them driving, because then they have a weird effect. And then a hair gets caught in the gate.
Oh, yeah,
the
something
film
like
gate.
you whips in.
You see like a hair pop
in. It's
in.
like a cat tail.
And then it ends. But it said, what did it say? It said it'll be back or coming soon, or
Nemesis 3
Nemesis 3 time lapse.
Prolapse.
But then since we were watching it on Freevee, it was like, do you want to continue watching?
Perfect timing.
It was like, come in, Nemesis 3 time lapse, and then Freevee pops up and it goes, do you want to move on to Nemesis 3 Pray Harder?
Yeah. Totally different.
It's the wrong title.
Completely different title.
So
don't know what happened between now and then, but it's totally different title.
If the movie, we both said if the movie were about 5 or 6 years older, it would have for sure, that the end credits theme would have been like, I fight for love. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like on my own. But it didn't.
Love is the power.
There it is.
But no, it didn't.
It didn't have that, unfortunately. Yeah. And that concludes the synopsis for Nemesis 2 Nebula. I don't know what nebula means in any of this context.
I don't have a fucking clue. I have no idea. I don't know that the word nebula is ever spoken in this movie.
No, I don't know how. Like, because the other ones are called Time Lapse or Pray Harder. And then Nemesis 4 Death Angel.
Mm-hmm. Nemesis 5, which came out fairly recently.
The new model. It's all related to like.
And then, are you aware there's a crossover? Cyborg Nemesis, which is a crossover between the Cyborg universe and the Nemesis franchise. Yeah.
Avengers before Avengers.
I think it came out. Yeah, I think it exists.
But yeah, I don't know what the nebula is, but that's the film. That is it. Most of it was running. I know it feels like in our description we spent a lot of time at the top and a lot of time at the end, and not so much in the middle.
Nothing happened.
It's
in
just
the middle.
running.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful, perfect woman running through the Arizona desert.
I do have one. I did want to bring up one quote, which was from the pilot to the main character. So what's the story with your body? And she's like, I don't know. That's like it, and then that's it. It's not mentioned. It's like you've never noticed that you're 3 times the size of the biggest man in your village.
I don't know.
You never noticed?
I don't know.
I thought this is how people looked.
Well, it was interesting. At one point, someone was like, "You're very big for a woman," and I was like, "She's bigger than you, bud. Heads up, she's bigger than you.
Yeah. She could beat the shit out of you and top you if she wanted, right here and now."
God, I'd kill to get topped. just
by anyone.
But if we were recording this and then she pulled back the curtain and she said, "Surprise, fuckers," I'd be like, "No," but I'd actually be
no, don't do it as you put your legs up.
Cracks my ankles. All right. Final thoughts, Patrick. I'm gonna save chase. Let's start with the chase sequence.
Okay.
Yet again, we've managed to pick a film at random that is basically just muscles and chases. So, what do we think of the chase sequence of this?
So slow, so boring. There's not a single exciting chase in this whole movie, I would say.
No.
You're meant to think that the Nemesis, who's obviously kind of slow, it's more of a Michael Myers type than a whatever, a fast thing. And It doesn't have that effect though. He kind of just shows up occasionally
Yeah.
and is there. You don't get any kind of sense of dread that this unstoppable thing is following you because the rules are very unclear as to what this is at all.
Yeah.
Really.
Also, 90% of the threat are just like East African rebels.
Right. They're seem way worse and way more dire of
yeah.
a threat than the Nemesis. Yeah, just wildly boring. It's yet another person whose body has been specifically trained to no longer be able to run.
Yep.
Running a lot.
A lot of running.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I don't know what it is about these movies and these budgets that basically make us say pursuit is plot, but that's what it is. So you don't have to think of lines if you could just show someone running. All right. Physique critique.
Now here we go. Come on. Physique
this
critique.
is what we've been waiting
This
for.
is it. This is what we wanted.
The first shot of her, it's a close-up of her abdomen.
Yeah.
And just seeing an abdomen unflexed lying on the ground, I went, oh, we got something here. I was like, I knew. And then eventually it pans up and you see her massive, she looks like a linebacker.
Yeah.
Right? Like her massive delts.
And moves like one.
Yeah, yes. And then of course you see her calves. Oh my God. Her calves.
Yeah, her legs are like
she looks
the
like a
size of
poodle
her
sometimes.
torso. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But she looked great.
Perfect.
I mean, honestly,
she looks perfect.
I
No
think
notes.
the Barbarian brothers are obviously super jacked bodybuilders.
Yeah.
She can't do the same things that they do, right? She doesn't have access probably to the same chemicals they do either. But she looks great.
Great as you can look.
I would say the only thing that kills it are those dreadlocks.
The dreads are pretty fucking bad.
It's disgusting.
It's really gross
on her.
Yeah.
And
Not a
none
good
of the
look for her.
tribesmen had dreadlock. I don't know what. We said
Best to not ask
she looks like
questions.
Spider from Avatar 2.
Yes, imagine Spider but huge.
Yeah.
Jacked.
And so that's basically what we have, a huge Jack Spider from Avatar 2. But either way, she looked great. You're asking me what my score, I'm going to go 8 out of 10.
Of course. What loses her points?
If they hadn't shown her run, they should know how to film her to make her look imposing.
Yeah.
But they filmed her in such a way to make her look
like a
small
baby
and like a baby.
Yeah.
So
that loses 2 points.
Yeah. I think if you have a body like that, you want to
fair.
film it to be imposing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I all the low angle shots of her cranking the legs up, right, and then coming down into it. Those
and then
are
the
good.
camera does that, switches to that low shot from behind.
Yeah.
where you kind of see.
You're like, who's inside?
What
who?
is that? Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Who's inside what?
Yeah.
I like those, but the some of the rest of it, I don't know. It wasn't flattering at all times.
No,
So I'm gonna knock a few points there, but look
Okay.
great overall.
Fair.
About as
Stern
good a
but
score as I
fair.
can give it.
Stern
Thank
but
you.
fair. Yeah.
Patrick, do you recommend this film?
Not really.
Wow.
Honestly. I mean, yes, I think it's another throw it on, but this one didn't. Let me say this. I had a good time watching it.
Okay.
I was kind of bored, but not like I wasn't on my phone.
Yeah.
Or anything like
No,
that.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
watching the movie. A little boring, which I haven't really felt in most of the other movies we watch, but it's one of these movies. Just watch it. If this is the type of shit you like, just watch it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not a huge. I mean, of course, all these are wastes of your time, but I don't know. I don't know if I would call this like required viewing, other than I guess
You have recommended every other film that we've
Yes,
done.
I
on
have.
this. Just, okay, I just want to be clear.
I'm saying this is maybe one I don't recommend. It's not an indictment against the movie. I'm just saying it's kind of,
All right.
I think it's skippable
Okay.
for
Interesting.
me.
All right. I do recommend this film.
Oh, interesting.
No, I do think there's a risk with movies in the 90s and then probably into the 2000s as well, where they were like, wait, we can trick them. Like, The Barbarians doesn't trick you.
No, yeah.
It's shitty, but it delivers on the promise of the premise.
Yes.
In maybe some ways better than it ever had to.
Yeah.
This definitely felt like, let's trick them. Let's trick you into thinking this is a sci-fi movie. Let's trick them into thinking it's like Terminator, but actually all we can do is go out into the desert and film some stuff. I don't like that. I never liked that. I think if this movie came out in 1985, it would maybe be the best one we had seen.
Yeah.
Because Abraxas
the song.
is not good.
No, it's not.
And he don't look good.
No,
there's
he
not
don't.
even anything to look at. It's just
So
a guy.
dark,
It's just a guy with a rat tail in like a
filmed at midnight on a dirty lens with no moon out.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I do recommend this film.
Okay.
So
For the bodies.
Just to see, maybe throw it on, put it on mute. You're not gonna miss anything. There's no lines of dialogue.
Not a bad idea,
Put it on in the background, or maybe you're at a bar. Ask the bartender to throw it on.
Hey, barmaid. Yeah, pop on Nemesis 2. You got Nemesis 2 Nebula back there on DVD or anything?
They go, I don't think so. I go, is that a Roku TV? Because it's got the Freevee app, which means you got Nemesis 2 Nebula. Tubi.
This is Tubi.
Okay. Well, either way, it's basically the same catalog. Yes. So tell the bartender to look for it. It'd be great to have it on while you're having a drink.
Speaking of Tubi.
Yep.
I have a huge exclusive reveal.
Tell me.
Which is next week we'll be watching another sequel, Turbulence 3 Heavy Metal.
Wow.
Yeah, big reveal. Just found out.
Any relation to the magazine?
What magazine? Heavy Metal? Oh, no. None. Okay. None at all.
Turbulence 3 Heavy Metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Rutger Hauer.
Oh, that's great.
Rutger Hauer,
very
great
talented.
actor.
He wouldn't just say yes to anything.
No, he would not. He definitely would not. He is very discerning in his projects.
Yep.
So that's what we're watching next week, and I think it is available on Tubi.
Awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone here joins us for that. Thank you for listening to this episode or watching it on roosterteeth.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, tell a friend.
Please, we need those views.
Let them know. The people got to hear about our thoughts. They got to know about the toppings.
Maybe you're topping someone this weekend, and you're thinking about, hey, wait a minute. Didn't I just hear something about someone getting topped in a podcast? Tell them.
Look down at them.
Look down and
as
say,
you're holding
hey,
their ankles up in the air.
This reminds me of a podcast I listened to with the Trashmen. Put it on. Finish your business.
Exactly. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week with another Trash or Trash.
Thank you.
I'm gonna rise to the top.